lot of excitement over the past few weeks about the Apple iPhone. To talk a little bit more about it and the system, or the closed system that it's going to be employing, we've got Mathew Ingram from theglobeandmail.com. How you doing, Mathew?
Good.
Thanks for joining us today. So the Apple iPhone, everyone obviously very excited about it. From my understanding, it's coming out in June in the U.S.?
Yeah.
And I'm hearing a lot about a closed system. Maybe you can explain to our viewers what that's all about.
Well, I guess the thing everybody's talking about is the fact that the Apple phone comes the way it is with the stuff that's on there, and you basically can't do anything with it. So, in other words, you can't put new software on it. You can't, well, that's not true. You can if Apple gives it to you. But you can't download things. You can't put sort of third-party software on there. You can't, upload apps and whatnot and sort of customize your phone. So it comes the way it is, and that's just the way it is. And if Apple comes out with a new widget that you can use on the phone, then great, you can use it. But if Apple doesn't, you can't just go and get a widget from somewhere and put it on there. And so there's kind of a debate going on between people who think that's a good thing and people who think that's a bad thing. And I guess people who think that's a good thing think, Steve Jobs is a genius, Apple is a fantastic company, and it makes great products, and part of the reason why they're so great is because people can't screw around with them. So if you have a great phone or a great iPod or a great computer, it's great in part because Apple puts it all together and makes sure everything works well together. And if people start screwing around with it and uploading Java apps and whatnot, then that will wreck the sort of Apple experience and effectively ruin the device.
Kind of makes a bit of sense. Wouldn't you say a lot of cell phones now are kind of like that? You can't really add that much unless you're using the manufacturer's software and things like that.
Right, and that was one of the points that when I wrote about it, somebody made the point, you can't do that with your regular cell phone, which is true, but Apple's talking about a different kind of device. They're effectively, the iPhone is supposed to be a new sort of generation of phone. It's not supposed to be just like a regular phone. It's a smartphone, effectively. And a lot of other smartphones, you can upload Java apps. You can, if you're a programmer, you can write things that will run on there. You can, to some extent, it's an open system or more open than the iPhone. And so I guess the sort of counter opinion to, yes, it's closed, but that's what makes it so great. The counter argument is not even Steve Jobs and Apple, although they're geniuses, can make a device that could possibly do everything you want it to do. So why not sort of leave it a little bit open so that people can write apps that will work on the phone and make it do different things. And so it's kind of an open versus a closed mentality, I guess. And if you like Apple enough and you love their products enough, you're not going to see that as a bad thing. In fact, you're going to see it as a good thing, because it keeps it pure, and that's the way Steve Jobs likes it.
Well, there's no question that Apple really does have a hardcore following. I don't really think that this is going to hurt their sales in any way, do you?
No, I don't think so. And the number one response when people have complained or criticized the closedness, the number one response is, well, then don't buy one. If you don't like the fact that it's closed, then go buy a different phone. And that's, the end of the day, lots of people are going to buy it because it looks cool, and it is cool. I mean, it looks like a great phone. But to me, there's kind of a philosophical difference there between, would you rather have something that you could do things with? I mean, even the iPod, wouldn't it be nice to sort of be able to, make it do other things other than just play music? It's just very difficult to do that.
I guess they're pretty well taking the safer road in that matter. So coming out in June, any idea when it's going to be coming out in Canada yet?
No, there's not.
No.
There's been nothing official. I would imagine, if we see it this year, we'd be lucky, I think, because, by the time it comes out in the U.S., Canada's going to be probably a secondary or tertiary market. I imagine they'll go after Europe first. So I would think probably into next year.
So I got to ask you this, Mathew. When it comes out, are you going to get one?
I would love to get one. I don't think I could justify paying that much money for a phone myself.
Yeah, they're coming in down in the U.S., I think $500 or $600 with a 2-year contract.
Yeah, and so that's after the discount that you get for, the locking in for 2 years. That's a substantial amount of money for a phone.
Well, thank you very much, Mathew.
Okay, thanks, Mike.
That was Mathew Ingram from theglobeandmail.com, talking all about the iPhone and how it's a closed system.